I do see that companies like to acquire technology because that is where they lack a lot of the DNA. Most of these companies, whether it's a Hearst or whether it's a Gannett, Gannett invested $10 million in Livestream, not because necessarily they are enamored with user-generated content in social media, but because they probably don't have the DNA in-house to duplicate that, whereas they feel that they can duplicate content to some extent.
Do you think Gannett will buy Livestream?
I think eventually when a company makes that kind of big bet on a company, it's really 50-50. They might never have an incentive to buy the whole thing because they largely are blocking anyone else from buying it to some extent, depending on how the deal is structured. But I think oftentimes that just sets up the stage for a future acquisition.
What about TubeMogul? Is that a target you think might get bought?
Well, we at WatchMojo work with TubeMogul, so just out for disclaimer, we throw that out there. Initially, they had this service that allowed you to upload to them once and get your videos everywhere. Now, in a world where YouTube owns every single eyeball, that's less interesting. So I really like what Brett Wilson and his team did, which is basically to start getting into the advertising business.
Are there other web analytics companies in video that you think are interesting?
Yes, Visible Metrics is one, and the companies even like Nielsen and Comscore, they are starting to offer some of these services. The problem is that, again, you have these companies that are backed by venture capitalists that are making a lot of these bells and whistles available for free. So for a Nielsen or Comscore to come out and sort of match that is not obvious, especially when video remains very embryonic.